Let's be honest, the Friends cast, really nobody else other than the blonde one had like a decent movie career. And let's be real, Jennifer Aniston, she doesn't make great movies. I wouldn't particularly say she's a great actress, but you know, looks great. So let's talk about Jon Hamm. You've seen The Town.
Badly, I'm going to beat him down in this battle, ladies and gentlemen. We've been doing this this tournament, greatest show of all time, right? And we did it last week. We talked about The Office and Game of Thrones. Now, if everybody wasn't there to witness the beatdown that was my thorough thrashing of a reign in this battle between Game of Thrones and The Office for the first round of the greatest show of all time, go back and watch that from last week, okay? This week, we've got two other shows that are fucking stalwarts in their own right. Two shows that defined generations for in their own respects for TV, right? TV shows. This week, we have Friends. And we have Mad Men squaring off. First round. We had flipped a coin. Arain gets Mad Men. I get Friends. Now, for those who've heard me talk a lot of shit about Friends, this is a little awkward now because I've talked mad shit about that show. But I'm gonna win nonetheless because that's what I do. I don't lose too many debates. Certainly won't tonight. Let's get it going. Let me get the bells in here. All right. So, as with last week, we have 4 categories. So the first three are going to carry from show to show, but then the last one is a wild card where we're just going to kind of decide that kind of week to week what that category is going to be. So the categories are acting, character development, overall story, and then the wild card. This week, our wild card is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, the most successful actor post-show. Or,
I would say like the
show with the better
overall cast
careers
post-show.
Okay. So yeah, look, I did the honors last week you went first last week, right?
I went first last week.
Okay. So I'll go first this week, starting off with our acting. We get 2 minutes per round to argue or to make our case. So let me cue this timer up here. So yeah. Okay. So when the bell goes off, we are off to the races, and we shall go. Okay. All right, so the first category is acting. Look, I think this is very simple, right? The reason why people love Friends so much isn't at all because of the storylines, right? It's not because of the story why people love Friends. The people love Friends because of the characters, right? So when you talk about acting, these actors and actresses, Lisa Kudrow, Jennifer Aniston, David Schwimmer, Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc, right? They all brought something very special to their characters, so much that people just they don't even really they've had really successful careers post Friends, but everybody knows them so much so that we just did a Friends 10-year reunion and everybody fucking lost their shit about it, right? That's because they love these characters. They love the people that portray these characters. And there's only Lisa Kudrow could be Phoebe Buffay, right? Only Courtney Cox could be Monica Geller. Only Jennifer Aniston could be Rachel Green, right? So much so that we just have so many memorable aspects to the characters, right? Like Phoebe with Smelly Cat, right? Smelly cat, right? Everybody fucking remembers that shit, right? They remember Chandler's sarcasm with how he would, could you be any more annoying? Everybody remembers Chandler for that, right? Joey, how you doing? Right? That's where that came from, right? Is Joey. And so, and you have other things too, like Monica's OCD, right? They found these characters so convincing and compelling because they reminded them people. The characters remind people of themselves, right? And it's the actors and actresses that do this. So, with that, I yield to you, my friend.
All right. Do I go at the bell?
You go at the bell.
All right.
1 sec to cue it up.
So, I mean, first of all, let's just kind of run through the cast. Let's familiarize ourselves with some of these names here, right? John Hamm.
You state your show, guy.
Oh, sorry. Well, I thought we already did that. So, Mad Men. Let's talk about why Mad Men is the better show when we're comparing it against Friends, right? I'm going to start with this cast here. John Hamm, who plays Don Draper, Elizabeth Moss, who plays Peggy Olson, Vincent Kraftschizer, January Jones, John Stalley, Rich Summer, Christina Hendricks. Stellar cast. But what makes Mad Men the better show in this case is what it manages to do, right? It's charming, it's witty, it's funny, it's set in this era and time in which we shouldn't get the charm and the wit that we get from a show like this, but it manages to do all of those things. It's funny, it's exciting, it's a thrill ride, and you get these characters. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to love these characters as much as you're going to love Friends, right? Because Friends is a comedy. It is easier to be thrilled by a comedy, right? The laughs, the funny moments, those funny, memorable characters. But real stories always elevate higher than comics, right? I think some of the shows we love the most, Game of Thrones. What are some of the other shows that we talked about last week? I forget the other one. Well, Game of Thrones. The fucking.
The Office?
Well, no, not The Office. I'm losing time here. Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. These movies or these shows that tell real stories, have real characters, have real moments where there's politics, love, hate, envy, jealousy, these great stories, right? Those always elevate above comedies because comedies is just like a cheap laugh, right? And we got a lot of that in Friends. What we got from Mad Men was real stories, real growth, real development, and these really great cast of people who just put this magic into the show.
Right. Not sure what any of that had to do with the acting, but okay, fair enough if that's what you want to go with. All right, let's move on to our next category here. So here we have character development. Okay. Okay. Look, when we talk about character development, look, I could run through the entire cast and go through how all of them has some sort of character development, right? But in all honesty, I don't think, honestly, everybody on Friends had a lot of great character development. But the one person that they did have a tremendous amount of character development for, I think, is she's sort of the archetype for character development. That's Jennifer Aniston's Rachel Green. I think she is literally just like the prototypical display of character development. She goes from being sort of this prissy, self-absorbed, she's pretty much unconcerned with anybody else, right, other than herself, to flash forward to the end of the show where she's this loving, caring mother who's a career-oriented person, and she can provide for herself, but she also finds time to love and care for other people. Not only does she care about her friends, but she also, her and Ross ended up together, right? So I think it's clearly displayed from the beginning to the end of the show that and when we talk about character development, right? And we talked about this last week. You're basically just talking about change in this situation, right? You're looking for how much has that person changed from the beginning of the thing to the end of the thing, right? Or what are the actions that they take? How does it show progression through the character's development? And it was a big thing when Rachel got hired by Ralph Lauren, right? She goes from working as a barista in the coffee house to being a buyer for Ralph Lauren, and then she ends up becoming this sort of fashionista. This is all about character development, and I think that not everybody on Friends had, I think, great character development, but she had the most archetypal character development for the show. I yield. All right. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll ring the bell.
Ready. Great. So unlike Friends, where one character had a little bit of development because she got a cool job, let's talk about like real characters, real people, and real growth. What I really want to focus on is what I think are the more important characters, the female characters who went through like the most growth throughout Mad Men. Elizabeth Moss character, who plays Peggy Olsen, right? She starts off as this like assistant, like this like kind of like intern. This, she's answering phones, getting coffee. She's in this male-dominated world where she's this girl who she's supposed to play a certain role. You're supposed to be an assistant. You're supposed to answer phones, look pretty, come into our offices when we call you. You don't get invited to the meetings with the executives and the clients, none of that. Over the course of the show, we see her take on this confidence, right? Like, I'm not going to continue to just sit here and, take orders. I'm going to start to lead. So we see her go from this like shy, quiet character who then becomes a contributor within the agency that they work for, right? And not only a contributor, one of their biggest like creative assets, right? And then we see her when Don Draper and a few of the people in this office leave and they go create their own agency. We see her go from, again, that shy, quiet assistant to this executive partner within this company. So, I mean, her progression was insane. And she also had really great possession personally with her relationships outside of the office. We saw the same thing with Christina Hendricks' character, Joan Harris, where she goes from being just this office manager to now being, a female partner and executive in this male-dominated industry, right? So we see a lot of growth in these female characters that were supposed to play a role. You're supposed to answer phones and get us coffee. But now these women have evolved personally and professionally into being these executives again in this male-dominated field. I haven't even started to talk about Don Draper, this drunk, lustful man who goes from being this cheating husband to label executive and a cheating lustful man.
A little overtime there. It's okay. We'll allow.
1 second.
Yeah. It's like 10. All right. The next category is overall story. So look, you can't judge a sitcom by its overall story because, let's be honest, most sitcoms' overall story is probably trash, right? Like, I defy anybody to name a sitcom that had a great overall story. Right. So starting off from that position, I'm not looking, when you look at a sitcom, you don't necessarily look for the overall story so much as what did they do best or what did they do great. Now, look, there are a lot of different types of plot devices that you can use in a sitcom, right, to make it work. One of the best things that happen in Friends, honestly, and this plot device has been used on literally like every like sitcom, right? Is will they, won't they, right? They usually have two characters, two of the more popular characters on the show. They usually have them be in some sort of situation where you don't know, oh my gosh, is it going to work out between them or is it not going to work out between them, right? I think from what I understand, back in Cheers was like kind of like between, I think it was like Diane and I forget what the dude's name was, but they sort of had like the first sort of will they or won't they scenario. Friends perfected it. There is no better show known for anything than Friends being known for will they or won't they. Literally, when you say that phrase, the first thing that comes to mind is Friends. Will Ross and Rachel get back together or won't they? And that was something that they flirted with throughout the entirety of the series. It was pretty hot in the first 2 seasons of the show and then picked up steam towards the end of the show. I think that's worth more especially when looking at a sitcom than trying to look at the overall story, because that's just the nature of the actual thing itself, is that you're just not going to get a great overall story with something like Friends, which is a sitcom. I yield.
I'm ready whenever you are. So unlike Friends, characters matter. Character development matters, right? We want to see these characters in these shows grow. We want to be able to relate to them, right? As the audience grow personally and professionally, we love to watch shows where we get to see growth in the characters that we love, right? And story does matter. in Friends, it's really just following these people around New York City and like, you know, keeping up with their friendship. And at the end of the day, that's will they, won't they? That's really all it boils down to. What we get from Mad Men is a series that, you know, has really deep personal story that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. You know, chasing your dreams, being ambitious, you know, going from being a female in this corporate-led, male-dominated world to like carving your lane, carving out your place, saying that like I'm here, I've arrived, and like this is what I have to offer, this is what I bring to the table. We got that in Peggy Olson, we got that in Christina Hendricks, Christina Hendricks' character. We got that in Don Draper, right? This 1960s ad agency with these creative, interesting characters, and you know, there's like a lot of really rich story behind it, right? And I love the setting of this. It's like the 1960s and one of the most creative times in ad or in marketing, right? So story matters. And in Mad Men, we get far more of that than we got in Friends. And character development, great costume design. I mean, there's just so much here. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. Let's move on to our last category, which is the wild card. And we're going to have like post-show careers. We're going to line the tape up and see who had the better of the two as far as like the post-show, right? Look, I'm going to ring the bell. Look, I'm not even sure if this is a contest because look, I know I'm gonna pull an 8 Mile here. I know what you're gonna say, right? Elizabeth Moss and John Hamm, right? There's not. I mean, I guess you could say Christina Hendricks a little bit, right? But those are the two that you're gonna point out. The entire cast of Friends had a great post-show career, but not only that, they had a great career within the show, right? So while they were doing Friends, while they were still shooting, they still had great careers. Okay, look, I'm just going to list off I'm going to list off the facts here. Jennifer Aniston, Morning Show, Cake, The Breakup, one of the best breakup films ever made. I might add, with incredible Vince Vaughn, and it wasn't like Vince Vaughn and then Jennifer Aniston. It was they both top bill that movie. Marley and Me, he's just not that into you. Horrible Bosses, and Horrible Bosses is a series, right? She does a fantastic job with that. Matt LeBlanc, episodes going on 6 seasons, or maybe I think it's canceled now, but not canceled, but it ended now. Man with a Plan, 4 seasons. Lisa Kudrow, and just the past 2 or 3 seasons is a task for any show, right? So let alone to get 6 and 4 out of 2 different shows post your friend's career. Yeah, I forgot to put up a shot there. That's why we need you here, Addie. But anyways, Lisa Kudrow, who had The Comeback, Courtney Cox, who had Cougar Town, as well as she's, while she was shooting Friends, she had the Scream series, right? And she's about to do Scream 5 right now. And I think she's even executive producing that one. David Schwimmer, he's probably the least of all of them, but he even still had a great post-Friends career. More recently with The People versus O.J. Simpson, in which he played Robert Kardashian, and Matthew Perry, The Odd Couple, the whole 9 Yard series. Fools Rush In. Need I say more? I yield.
Ready to go? All right, so let's be honest. The Friends cast, really nobody else other than the blonde one had like a decent movie career. And let's be real, Jennifer Aniston, she doesn't make great movies. I wouldn't particularly say she's a great actress, but looks great. So let's talk about John Hamm. You've seen The Town. I've seen The Town. We've all seen The Town. Phenomenal movie. These guys aren't fucking around. We're not fucking around either. Right? You remember that line. We loved him in that movie. We loved him in Tag. He's going to be in the new Top Gun Maverick movie. The great thing about John Hamm is he can play those serious roles. He can play Don Draper in Mad Men, but he could also, make appearances in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He can be in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was in the Richard Jewell film, many Saturday Night Live appearances, Good Omens, The Report. I mean, he has so much versatility. It's insane. Let's talk about versatile. Elizabeth Moss, who played Peggy Olson. One of your favorite shows, The Handmaid's Tale. She is the lead of that show.
Let's pump our brakes.
The Invisible Man. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie. Great film. She had a short appearance in the movie Us by Jordan Peele. I think she was great in that movie too. She's had a lot of other smaller roles here along the way too, but I think it's fair to say that she's had a stellar career post Mad Men. And I'm just gonna highlight one other, Christina Hendricks, who played I forget what her fucking character's name was in Mad Men, but she's been in a lot of really great things. Good Girls, Toy Story 4. She was in Candy Jar, Robot Chicken. She has versatility, and that's really what the Mad Men cast had: versatility and some really great follow-up projects that didn't just like play off of their characters from Mad Men or play off of their characters from Friends as yours did, but they were able to do standalone movies and shows that really showed that post Mad Men they have versatility.
Okay, I think it's I don't know. I think it's clear.
I think I got the W. But let's be real. You even admitted that your show, your characters had no character development. You admitted that your show had no real storyline, and the only character or actor or actress from your show that had like a great career is Jennifer Aniston. I mean, I think this is a easy W.
No, I think I ran through the tape. What my point is post show, we're looking at the entire cast. We're not looking at, there's 8,000 people on Mad Men. 2, maybe 3 of those people had decent careers. And I would argue John Hamm has not had the career that you would have thought John Hamm would have after leading a series for about 7 seasons. He has not had the type of career where you would expect a leading man of that nature to have. What's different about Friends to me is Friends was an ensemble cast, right? Everybody had equal billing, you know, at least I don't know. I don't know what their checks say, but from what I understand, they all had equal billing. They all have equally successful careers. They've all done a lot of things post Friends career. But anyways, I think it's not up to us anymore. We've argued our points. We made the points that we want to make. It is up to the audience. You guys tell us what you think about, whether Friends wins in this case or Mad Men wins in this case. Who moves on to the second round here? Only you know, because it's based on what the audience says, along with Sergio and Addy. With that being said, we need to get the fuck out of here. I don't even have time.